Doo-doo-doo. Hey all, it's not Sunday, it's Saturday. That's my brain right now. That's how I feel. Look at that. I just need another space. I can't use nothing. I think there's a lot of guys out there that feel the same way. Can't find anything. Can't use nothing. Drill press, barely use it. When I can remember it's there, I can't even hardly see it. There's so much crap. Dug my welder out the other day to fix some garden stuff for my wife. Love that thing. Nice Lincoln 170. I use inner shield on that. I wish I had a MIG bottle. I learned on MIG with the gas, and gosh, that's a nice pure weld with that. Let's get more splatter with this inner shield stuff. But anyways, it works. Yeah, it's a mess in here. Can't even get to my workbench. Look at that. There we go. 1 foot wide. I get over there and then it's like, blah. My blade sharpener, I've been using that lately. Sharpened all my blades. That's actually been a great thing there. Taken a long time to learn how to use it properly. You know, it's a Chinese. I think I spent $200 for it when I bought it. If I was to buy another one, I would not get it with the cooling tank. It doesn't really change anything. The trick to that is to get the right disc. So, you know, it seems like there's only one source. Well, there's multiple Chinese sources, but there's only making the same disc. Wish I could get some more high quality 5-inch disc to fit that. That would make a huge difference. So I do a lot of it by hand. You know, I find that I can be more precise with my hand. I don't set up the gauge here. Yeah, so it's taken a while to figure it out. I wish I had a dial instead of release it and move it yourself. I wish I had a dial to tune in the degrees. That's frustrating on this. There is one out there for like $500 that has that for all the angles. You just dial it in, the dial. This one here is, you know, you can't get that precise. When you loosen it, then you manipulate it manually, and it's a bear. I have a wiki degree thing that I use. That helps me, but I still got to manually hold the thing. You know, I'm going to manually... Let me see what I can get here. Got to manually release it, and then hold it over here and manually get the degrees there. So, pain. Also wish I had the same for the angle here to dial it in. You know, you've got to tap it over, tap it the other way. Yeah, so gosh, if I had those two things or dials on that, I could get even better. So anyways, for all those who have something similar, for me the trick is, you know, there's a little cup that fits over the blade in the back. Anyways, I don't have anything out here. Oh, here it is. So this little cup you tighten down over the blade, but when the blade's sitting out here against this, doesn't do a really good job. So it still has vibration once you connect the blade into that. So yeah, by the time you get that engaged, you know, it can since these aren't that precise, the blade can just really quickly chatter back and forth, and so you don't get a really good surface. So for me, the key for that is to, there we go. When I get in there with my hand, you know, I hold it pretty hard and I just kind of come in. Depending on the blade, I'll come in and back it off, in, and then as I'm pulling back on the blade, I pull it off. I don't ever go in and stop. I go in and I come back. Something in my mind tells me I'd rather be pulling the metal out to make it sharper than to be pushing it in. So, I don't know, works pretty good. But it took me a long time to figure that I needed to hold this, get this off of here. I'm all backwards on you guys. Here we go. Let's get it on there right. Alright, there we go. So, and that sits down on top and that holds it. But I find that if I hold it over here, I can get a nice, better contact. And that's what it's all about. These here aren't perfectly round, so that it's vibrating back and forth, and so it can cause a little bit of a thing. So if you get some firm pressure on that, like pretty much if I'm going, I'm gonna go whoop, woo, that's about it. Whoop, woo, that's it. That's as much time as I got on that. So, and firm, I'm not letting it bounce off that. So that's the key to that. It's taken quite a while. Some of my first blades weren't too good. I don't worry about getting the top so much. This can do it, but it really I don't know. I don't think it's really designed for that. So I have done it, and it can ruin a blade. So yeah, let's keep it like that for now. Anyways, I've gotten better over the years. You know, I found out too that a lot of blades, if you don't run them too long and you realize they're starting to dull, just cleaning the resin. Just cleaning the resin off the side, you know, that gets built up on here, kind of resharpens them. You know, just getting that sticky, you believe it, that heats up and creates like a glue, especially when you're cutting through plywood and stuff. This got been glued together. So with your flooring, hence some flooring right here, those layers are all glued together. You heat that up and that gets on the blade. So slows it down. So these are all sharpened. And actually they're really sharpened pretty dang good. This is probably the best batch I've ever done. Got a whole nother batch in the van. So yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. You know, every time I use a blade, you know, they can be resharpened multiple times if you know what you're doing. You know, I've ruined some good blades. You know, I ruined an Everlast blade on the first sharpening. I never could get it really, really sharp ever again. So, anyways, there's a learning curve. But I feel like I accomplish something every time I use a blade. Save me some money. I do occasionally, on certain stuff, I will go out and buy a new blade. Kills me though. Kills me to pay $80 to $120 for a blade. It just kills me knowing I've got these. So every now and then, like on our 12-inch, I can get a blade that'll sharpen almost back to specs, and we can use it. Won't chip. That's the main thing that'll happen with doing it myself, is that the new grind will actually cause the material to chip out. Not bad, but yeah, just from the inconsistency of doing it by hand. So, but like I said, I found I can be more precise with my hand than trying to follow the jig that they built for that machine there. So anyways, I only do my own blades. I won't do them for anybody else because, again, I'm happy with what I do, and I don't want the pressure of trying to get something perfect for somebody else. So, anyways, all right, that's what's going on today. And today we're double staining some baseboards for a client. Stain color. The first stain color is Country White by Duracell. A little bit of Fruitwood stain, quick coat, and then I can't read, Cal Tint, Universal Tint, Sienna, burnt sienna, no, raw sienna, sorry, raw sienna. And you know, I'm trying to pre-age the oak, the red oak. Trying to amberize it, pre-age the color. We're trying to match some baseboards that were previously stained, like I think they might have been classic gray, and then they're probably 20 years old, and so they've aged, and the classic gray has stayed in the soft grain, which is this, the soft grain or spring wood. And since if you're a floor guy, you know that some of those grays really don't stain the wood gray at all. There's not enough pigments in them, and if you don't prep the wood correctly, you can't get any of that color to penetrate. So typically on the wood here, in between your spring wood or soft grain, it typically doesn't stain gray at all. And so this ages over time, and actually the color of the red oak will push through naturally, and the gray stays in the grain, and you get this two-tone effect. So I'm trying to match that. So anyways, you got to be creative. So you're not going to get that with one stain. So this is what I've come up with. This is what it needs to look like. I don't know if you can see that, but that gray and the grain's pushing through, and then you get the yellowing of the red oak. So if you don't kind of add some yellowing effect to that, you'll get the red that'll push through, and then you'll get a red gray, not that bleached out oak look. So that's what we're going for. So those are two different samples I did there. This one's a little bit darker, the gray's a little bit darker, but I really need it to be this one here. So this has the one coat of my custom stain. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some grain on that and show you what I'm gonna do to create this. So this one again is too much gray. Yeah, too gray. The colors are just, I should say, too intense on that. So here we go. Let's see what we got. We got 2 bars, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. It's a mix of, got a mix of Czar. Oh, better explain this. Okay, so since we need a gray to stick in the grain, inside this grain, again, this has been stained once with my custom color. I need a thicker pigmented stain, so I've used Czar Malibu Gray. Czar is a thicker stain. I actually like it. I'm sure you gotta rub it off, but I really like Czar for certain woods that are hard to stain. And then mixed Country White. So I went 1-to-1. So also note If you do want your colors to be more intense within the wood, Czar is definitely a heavier pigmented stain, and I prefer their grays over, say, Duracell or Bona. Just not that thick. They're designed for floors. They're designed to be dry fast. Just designed for a certain purpose. So Czar does really well. So here's the stain. Here we go. We're gonna do it. Rub it really good. Get that gray off of. Just leave it in the soft grain. So that's it. I'm going to stop the video for now and do them all. I got about 70 lineal feet to do. There you go. I got them stained, coat of shellac to bring out the yellow or the aging, and then to kind of turn the gray a little green. As you all know, as gray yellows, it turns green, and so here we go. Voila. Put a coat of the old base are dingy and kind of in between a matte and satin look from being beat up and stuff, and so I went with matte finish, and should work out okay. Get some of those drips from the back side there. So yeah, I'm happy with it. A lot of work. Well, just a lot of knowledge. Just being in the trades for a long time, I think it all comes down to fear, right? Fear of getting paid. For me it does. Bottom line, I mean, you can like something, you can enjoy it, you can excel at it. Some things come natural. But it's just making the customer happy to get paid. I have bills and health premiums to pay every month, or payment to live in this thing. you know. Payment to keep the lights on, keep us comfortable. So, and then, you know, you get paid in accordance to that. So, you know, if I didn't have to work, I don't know what I'd do. I really don't. So, I always tell myself if I went back to school, could do it all over again, what would I do? And I'd probably be a scientist. You know, I have a inquisitive brain, and I like to know how things work and why. And yeah, I don't know where that would have led me. So, you know, for right now, I have this insatiable appetite for Bigfoot. So my neighbor gave me that. So, you know, I don't know if that makes me a wacko or what, but yeah, so I've been kind of stuck on that for the last year or two, just watching a bunch of stuff and, you know, wondering if they're all crazy and cuckoo, and I wonder why. My wife asked me why I even watch that, and I don't know, entertainment, but I don't know, maybe just checking out, entertainment, you know. But I find some of the stuff they do credible, and it's amazing how we make stuff up over time just by research. And, you know, you can't mention something 100 million times and somehow that becomes truth. You know, they've I don't know, stuff has just been researched for so long, you know. I don't know, I'm not going to go there just yet. Anyways, a little too much information. So anyways, I hope this was helpful with anybody. Anyways, a double stain. I will say this, Bona company makes some different sandpaper choices, and, you know, for really opening up hardwoods and stuff, I really like this ceramic, their green 80 grit. It's got some bite to it. It'll open up that hard grain, you know, so with the wood, it'll open up that hard grain and take the stain better. So as long as you're working it with the grain of the wood, it's got some really nice bite with less effort, you know. So again, it just comes down to working with different products over the years, and if you pay attention, you know what'll work for whatever. And so for this base, it's a ceramic paper. It's expensive, but that ceramic grit just sticks up enough to where it doesn't wear down fast. So those little tiny, that grit just is enough to open up that wood, open up that hard grain, and it'll take a little bit of color. So I mean, that's the key. The finer you sand the wood, the less color penetration you have. So as long as you keep it open, it'll take and it'll stain okay. It'll usually match your stain fan. You know, I can't tell you how many people stain wood based on, or they pick a color based on a stain fan, and they go out and do the floor, and it doesn't even look anything close to it. And it's all about the sanding process. So, you know, that's why before we got picky with floors, old timers would go in and they'd just sand a floor to 60 grit, hand sand the edges with the wood, and stain it. You know, some guys had buffers, some guys would knock it down a bit, but and there's an art to that, you know, knocking it down. Some guys ride that buffer too long, you know, smooth that wood out too much. You know, and they're worried about sanding out imperfections, and that's, you know, I don't know. You just do each step right and thorough and move on to the next, and nothing's going to be perfect. So, you know, they're humble there. A lot of us worry about chatter and stuff, but keep your machine running well. And then a light buff afterwards, depending on how heavy. This is a medium weight buffer Bona here. This Clark 1600 is my heaviest buffer. And, you know, it works good if you want to help flatten the floor out or something. I don't recommend it for final buffing unless you're going natural or something. Or you know how to use the machine. I guess that's what it comes down to. So this one's pretty good right here, this Bona. Their DCS is, you know, pretty good for buffing. Nice fast buff after 100 grit. Regalite, purple. They're purple Regalite belt. You know, buff it. Make sure your edges match. You're good to go. You know, you can even water pop after that, which will help. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.